Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Discipline Therapy Podcast. I'm your host, E.L. Discipline. Alongside me is Suhey Sotomayor. A few more episodes left, literally two more. So go back, season 16. You know, we do this in seasons, different topics. We're also on major listening platforms. We're gonna get into all that stuff. But what are you doing?
I don't know. I was trying to.
Exit. Yeah. Um, Ladies and gentlemen, y'all are here and back because y'all know y'all are fiends and y'all know what that means. We're serving you your dose weekly of discipline therapy where not everything is completely free as we on Patreon for a plethora of exclusive content for you to see. But what is free is judgment free, sucker free, censor free, sensitive free, and some liberty. God and the ancient ancestors are great, and that means everything else is straight. So go grab your wine, popcorn, or my favorite, roll a blunt, but make sure the children are in bed. Why do I say this? Because we have that soul food and sometimes vulgar conversations prepare your mind to be fed. Light one up, inhale life, and exhale strife. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, you are tuned in to the Discipline Therapy Podcast. We're
We're
here.
here.
You know, I say soul food, you know, and there's times on here where I'm cooking,
That's true.
you
You're
know,
usually
so
always cooking.
yeah. All right, we're gonna get into it.
So the links are in the description on how to become part of our Patreon family and subscribe for exclusive content, bloopers, behind the scenes, Mr. E.L. Discipline's solo lectures of discipline therapy talk, his BDSM content, erotica posts, and writings by Mr. E.L. Discipline. We upload all of his masterclass and workshops. Our full videos are uploaded there. We have some collaboration shows pertaining to sensitive topics such as sexual abuse, rape, domestic violence, transgender, children abductions, conspiracy theories, government conspiracy theories, and much more with myself at Mr. E.L. Discipline. Once again, to become part of our Patreon family is patreon.com/the Discipline Therapy Podcast. Mr. E.L. Discipline also has 7 published books that are available on Amazon.com, BarnesandNobles.com. We have them for electronic versions as well, for Kindle. Once again, all the links to the descriptions are beneath the video. We have our online store for merch, and that's at disciplinetherapy.launchcart.store/shop. We have new gear that hits every month. You've seen it. We've worn, we usually do that. So you want to go check out the different categories. And we are also on major listening platforms like Spotify, Apple iTunes, Deezer, Castbox, Amazon Music,
Yeah.
and a few others. So you want to check that out too.
All right. Episode 174. Is it right
If the
if the
man or
or woman
woman,
loves the children more than the husband or wife or person they had children with? Okay.
all right,
So, all right. So I'm gonna read some stuff first.
okay,
I'm gonna go into the research, and then we're gonna talk about our perspective.
okay,
So, do parents tend to love their children more than their spouse? It says, according to most experts, it's not accurate to say parents tend to love, operative word, their child more than their spouse, as the love for the child and the love for the spouse are considered different types of love, making it a direct comparison difficult. A healthy family dynamic usually involves prioritizing both relationships equally, though the level of attention and needs may vary depending on the child's age and life stage. Okay, there's different types of love they talk about.
I
Says men with children, do you love your spouse more? And they're giving their perspectives on that. And then it says, are you supposed to love your spouse or child more? And it says, like others have said, you should love your spouse more than the child or children. However, it's very common to feel a stronger pull to the children. For instance, they need more care, and typically wrongdoing is innocence. And typically wrongdoing is innocent and doesn't cut deep. So let
makes
me
sense.
see. Let me see. There's Time Magazine. Okay, and then after that we're gonna get into perspectives and bullets. So if you go to Time Magazine or Time.com and you put in the search, why you shouldn't love your kids more than your partner, a parent, a parent or parents' love for their children can make them do peculiar things. For example, like staying up at 1 a.m. gluing glitter for a second grade class project, or driving 40 miles per
Right.
hour to deliver a single soccer cleat, or perhaps bribing their teenagers way into a fancy college. But one of the weirdest things parents do is love their children more than their partner. So let me see. This is like research. This is let me see. There's this college. Let me just keep scrolling. Cornell University.
Mm.
They've done research on this too, so people could look into that. Um,
That's
and
interesting.
yeah, I mean, if you read more in depth and stuff, it's not really gonna say equal. I know they put parents here, but I tend to feel that the woman will be geared towards the love more, only because of the nurturing aspect.
Of the
And
child.
and and I read analytic parts where context where they're talking about the same thing, their care or their age. So when
Mm-hmm.
the child is just born, they need more
Of
attention
course,
and
obviously.
and nurturing, and I
Mm-hmm.
think that's coming from the mom more than the dad. And it's something about that pair bonding. It's just like when you have sex, it's the same chemical when you have a baby. For the
Mm-hmm.
woman, oxytocin,
Yeah.
that chemical allows them to pair bond, so they're pair bonding. There's something that has said that's going on with postpartum. Some people believe in it, some people don't.
I totally believe in it.
So that's a thing too.
How could you
And
not believe in it? That's your a woman's hormones are crazy.
yeah, but
Definitely
some
postpartum.
people
That
don't. So,
that I need them to call in and come with facts about why you don't believe in it. Because that's
yeah, so those were
crazy.
certain things that I was reading. Um so yeah, so about of our perspectives, we could really get into that. You'll go first and then I'll say what I need to say.
Okay.
Uh
Well,
you got bullets, right?
yeah. What makes you come to this conclusion
All
for
right.
your subjective view? So
Cool.
I understand, like conceptually, like why you know, you should pick your partner over your children because the goal is to raise them and have them, your children, now move on with their lives and so on and so forth. So who are you going to be left with? Your partner. So I can understand why, you know
Did you get that from me?
no,
Okay.
theoretically why that should be.
We had like a, not to cut you off, like a brief one early in seasons that was on Patreon.
He's trying to take my ideas, yo.
Okay. We did have one on
We
Patreon.
did.
It was a little bit more intense.
We did.
Not
Now I got to go back after this to see who said it first or who said what.
okay.
But no, either way, we've been, business partners and doing this for a long time. You know what I mean? But so going back to that, I can see why conceptually why that would make sense. But now, speaking as a mother,
Now you're making it subjective and it's gonna be
yes,
feelings and
exactly,
emotions. Okay.
exactly. And in that household, though, my children's father, so my ex-husband, I would argue with him, and I would be like, one of my arguments was, you need to love them more than you love me. Like you're putting me above them. And I didn't that I saw it as that is wrong.
Mm,
Those are our children. Our children should come before us.
yeah. And when you I'm gonna let you finish.
So that was my thinking. And obviously he and I did not think in the same way. But like I said, I could understand why at the end of it, you should put more care, or not more, but sustain that relationship that you have with your spouse.
When you understand male nature, you don't project like that. Like what you did was projecting. I think he was doing the right thing.
No,
I
yeah,
think he was
totally.
doing the right thing from a male's perspective. And most dominant men or alpha or whatever you want to call it will do that. When the woman is like, "Oh, you should love me more," she's projecting because that's what she would do. So she wants the man to think and feel like her and love the kids like her.
Yes.
So this is what
Yep.
what a woman does when she doesn't understand male
Yep.
nature, which is common, right? I'm not saying it's wrong or whatever it is.
No, it's so many of us
But it
don't
leads to
understand.
problems.
Yes.
I'm not saying it's wrong, but it leads to problems when you
100%.
project like that.
100%.
So my perspective is you already know. Like, I'm not gonna switch up. I remember what I said during Patreon. Even that was probably like season 8 or something, maybe. Way back.
Yeah,
We're halfway through 16 now. So I'm gonna keep it a buck, a stack with the same thing. I'm consistent. If I have a children with a mother, obviously female, she's above them. I'm loyal. She was here prior to them. She helped me get them here. I'm not saying I'm not gonna love them, but we tested out and we said it in Patreon. We were more intense, so I'm just gonna brief for this because it's not fair if they're paying to see that. So I'm just gonna say one scenario that we did kind of use, but we actually went in. We're not gonna go in here. We're just gonna give the scenario. You're gonna know where the love is when there's dire situations. So I use the example, if I was drowning and our son was, well, I didn't use us, but I just,
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Your spouse. If I was drowning and your daughter, our daughter or a son, who are you saving? So that is going to let you know where her mindset is at. That's going to come on the woman. Same thing with me, because I'm fair. I ask the same question for myself. If my daughter or my son is drowning and my wife is drowning, I'm not hesitating. Baby girl, wife, come on. And we got time. Let's save the kids now. It's not I'm going to grab them first prior to her. And that's just my loyalty genetics. That's my loyalty DNA. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I look at it. I'm not saying for everybody look at me, it's wrong, whatever. Some people be like cruel. I don't care what people think. But I'm just telling you what I believe is logical. This is what I think. That's why I told you, like, most men are just going to think logically. Yeah, my wife, logically. We're not thinking with feelings. When it's with feelings, and it's like, oh, it might be the other way. But you got to look at it like, she is your mate. She is your mate. God over man, man over woman, woman over children. There's a hierarchy. She is your mate. God bestow you upon laws of how you need to provide and protect the woman prior. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is because of the hierarchy. So I'm not telling everybody to think like me. I'm just breaking down on why I think like this, which what I would do.
Even in the airplane, they tell you first thing to do if the plane is going down and the mask drop, put it on yourself first and then the kid. Because if you're not, if you're trying to put it on them and you pass out and you didn't get, to save yourself, and nobody's gonna save your kid either.
Yeah.
No way.
So I just look at the camaraderie. You know what I'm saying? The staple of what it is. Now, even if like, let's say for example, right? Here's another situation, and I didn't use this on Patreon, but here's another situation. She's about to have my child. I'm not putting this into the universe. This will never happen. She's about to have my child. The doctor is like, there's so much complications. If she has this baby, she's going to die. But we could pull this baby out of her. But the consequences is your wife will die. Her body cannot sustain what's going to happen. You have to make a choice. Do you want us to have this baby and she will die, or she doesn't and she will live? And I'm like, I know what I'm going to make quickly. No, save my wife quickly. But some people might be like, well, let me have a conversation with her about it. Babe, what you want me to do? Oh no, save the kid, save the kid. Who cares about me? Save the kid. I'm not asking her in that scenario. You know how some people be like, oh, we're partners and talk to your woman about it. And she's like, no. And I believe some things you can do that. It's like, advise me about this, but I'm going to make the final decision. In that regard, I don't care about her opinion. I'm not coming to her to ask what you want to do because right now I have to make a logical decision. I don't trust that she's going to make one too. Feelings, oh, the baby. You know what I'm saying? And that's the right thing to do.
Does
Me,
it
I don't care
matter?
what's the right thing to do.
Does it matter how far along she is?
Doctors, save my wife.
Period.
Do whatever you got to do. Period.
No matter how far along she is.
Even if that scenario, because here's the twist. Okay, we'll be able to do this, but remember, you ain't gonna have your cake and eat it too. If you save your wife, she might not be able to have kids anymore. In that moment, I'm still not changing it. Save her.
Well,
You see what I'm saying? So it's not like a lot of people are gonna disagree with me. They'll be like, "Oh, you doing the wrong
I
thing."
mean, that's
It's okay,
opinion,
but I'm
though.
breaking it down on a logical aspect of what it is, from how I'm basing my ideology on what my decision will be.
What would you tell people who would say, "Yeah, but you don't got kids, so you don't know what that love is like"? Like, what would you tell them?
It's a good question, but to be frank, right? A lot of people never was married before. You see what I'm saying? They're winging it. So you got somebody who's been married for 20 years and they can't fucking get it right. Me, I never been married, but let's say I get married tomorrow and I'm getting it right. And now that tomorrow marriage is turning into 7, 8, 9, 10 years. Way less than their marriage. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because they're in a 20-year marriage, don't necessarily mean there's happiness there and it's successful. They could be together for things that are binding them together. They might not be happy. They might be living like roommates. It's not real.
I mean, that's so much, so many couples in America.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for me, like, I never been married before, but you're making it work. So when you're like, oh, you never had kids before. Well, just because you have kids don't mean you're raising them right.
That's true too.
Don't mean you're loving them right. So I could have kids tomorrow and I just know how to do it. My father told me this years ago, and he'll always tell me because they like my parents want me to have them.
Yeah.
They like, yo, wait for
like,
me. No, y'all not making a decision. I when I want. So the thing is, my dad told me years ago, and then he told me this recently again. You have, and he said it in Creole, in French to me, but I'll say it in English for everybody. He said you have father energy, like daddy energy. Kids, animals, your nieces, nephews, they all receive you well. Like you just have that aura. When he told me that years ago, I didn't believe it. Then he reminded me again. So he's saying for people, I'll help you out because my dad is not really sentimental and stuff. He's the type of guy. He read a couple of my books and he was like, "When's the movie coming out?" That means it's good. He's not gonna straight up tell you and give you hugs and say good job. So you got to read in depth with my pops. Pretty much what he's saying is you would make a great dad. That's what I'm reading in depth.
I think so.
That's what I'm reading in depth. So just because somebody's like, "Well, you never had kids before," don't mean I'm not gonna make a great dad.
No.
And love them right.
No.
Because that kid means subjective love,
That's
just
true.
like we read about in the research I
Yes.
pulled up.
Yes, but I think that what they're saying, like if somebody were to say that to you, because of feelings and
they're
emotions.
right, and they're right for their opinion, but that's like a harsh thing to say about somebody just because you do it. Like you gotta be able to have a successful relationship with your kids, with your kids, for you to be able to be like, "Oh, well, you don't have them. How you going? Well, you got them." And I know I'm not trying to be harsh on my words because Scorpios could be vicious. I'm not trying to be harsh, but I'm just saying you have them.
Well, we just
and what's going on there? It's not too well. That's well. They can't even share secrets with you.
They're like hypocrites.
Yeah, they can't even share secrets with you. They don't feel comfortable talking to you about nothing. So what type of love? Like you really like neglecting them? Like you ain't raised them, you maintained them.
All right, ready? Second bullet. Are your parents still together? And were you raised with both? Yes, well, my parents were still together. My mom passed away in July, so they were still together up until then.
Yeah,
And I was raised with both also.
43 years. You know, 2014, I'll never forget this. I asked mommy this question. This is why I brought it onto the podcast now.
Right.
Obviously, we haven't had podcasting back in the days. Maybe Instagram, couple years in, Instagram or whatever. But we didn't have all this stuff now. I asked mommy. It was like a dinner. We were all, I don't know if it was Thanksgiving or whatever. We was all joking around, family stuff. And 2014, I asked her in front of my siblings, if I was drowning and Poppy was drowning, who are you saving? Without hesitation, she said Poppy. And I was like, I felt so hurt. Now that I look back, she's right for that. And I'm not hurt anymore. Why? Because she got to stick by her man. And I respect that. But I looked at it with feelings like, damn, but I'm your firstborn son. What's up, mom? Like, I thought we was cool. Even though Scorpio Leo can get a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Till this day, we fight a little bit, but we still love each other. Like, I got, what, me? You're not gonna choose me over Poppy? Now it makes sense because she's thinking on a logical aspect. She's not thinking of emotion. You know what I'm saying? And we can't even say, oh, because she's Dominican or he's Haitian or whatever it is, like they're a lot harder and more colder. No, it's not, it can't even be that. Like she's thinking more logical. So now when I look more in depth as I get older, it makes sense. Ride by your man. You should do that because you look disloyal when you don't. So now that I'm in my late 30s, if she was to switch that up, I'ma know she don't love him like that. Because when you look at biology and science, the nature of the woman, how she practices her love through fidelity and ride or die, which is the highest level of loyalty. Synonymous, metaphoric, ride or die. So that's how they practice their love. So in a way, it's like when she's doing that, she put the kids over the man. She's showing she's not really into the man. Which is common. A lot of women are married to dudes they're not really into. They're not turned on by and whatnot, and don't love and don't respect and don't have loyalty for. You know what I'm saying? Now that they got the kids, oh great. Now I could just spoil them. That's my king. Fuck this guy. Fuck this guy now. I was waiting for the kids. Fuck this guy. You see a lot of those girls out there talking about, I don't need a Valentine's. My king, my son is my king. Disgusting. Disgusting. My son is my king. Kiss him in the mouth and shit.
No,
Weird shit that these women are doing with their little boys. You know what I'm saying? My son is my king. Weird shit. I've seen it.
I've
So
seen it too.
it's like the way I look at it is they wouldn't be here without him. So this is just my perspective. I'm not telling everybody they should think like me, but I'm just telling you why I think what I think. Because I'm more of an analytical guy. I'm a thinker. Like I'm gonna research so much things before I talk about it, then base my ideologies on it. So I have my own ideologies based off feelings. This is how I feel about it. But then when I research and go through the experiences and stuff of that nature, I'm like, well, this is what's logical. So it's logic and then his feelings. This is what it comes down to, verses. So it's like, what's your mind saying versus your heart? That's what it comes down to. Logic, mind, heart, feelings. So logically, I'm thinking with my mind, save my wife. Save my wife. Even if this causes her to not be able to have him anymore, save her. Even if she resents me for that. Even if she resents me, oh, you should have had them kill me. You should have. She resents me. I'm not gonna care. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't built like that. I told you this in a show prior. Loyal. Like I'm not built like that. The other way. My cloth is different. It's like discontinued in a way. Like it's an antique now, hard to find. Can't even get the shit online. Can't get the shit at Walmart. Like it's an antique. So it's just that what it is. Let's say you did have a husband. They're drowning and he's drowning. Who are you saving?
I mean, but based on my experience, clearly I'm saving my kids because I'm not even married anymore.
What if you were?
No offense, buddy. But I'm not.
What if you were?
But I'm not.
I'm not, and I said my scenario. So what if you were?
Oh, like
I'm not letting you get away with it. You gonna answer?
I'm gonna say my kids because that's just I'm going on feeling, and also I'm going on. I would think that my mate or whoever I'm having a kid with is gonna want me to like, let's work as a team. Grab the kid, I'll grab you. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? Because I know how to swim, so I wouldn't. That would be a bad. Maybe if somebody had a gun to my head, maybe that scenario. But
Okay, that scenario.
I don't know.
Who are you saving? They don't have a gun to your head. They got a gun to their head. Yeah, who are you saving? That's a little bit more difficult than the drowning situation. Because the drowning situation you can control. You see what you did there? You see, yeah, I can swim. And then me and him can help. And you see, you can control that. But in a certain scenario,
like
what
that.
you can't control, what would you do? Me? The wife. The wife. Sorry, guys. Sorry, kids. The wife. I'm saving the wife. Come on. That's me. All right, so we got a bullet. We were talking about this off camera because you asked me about my perspective. I was like, yo, put that on the bullet. Yeah. Let's get it.
So I was looking on X, which was Twitter, I think, and I saw, somebody had wrote in that she was married, right? And they had 5 children. She had 5 C-sections. And once they, she had the 5th one, that's when they decided, no, we don't want to have any more kids. So she asked him if he would get the vasectomy. And he said no. Now, when you have, a C-section, because I have had one, it's not, like in the movies, you just cut it. Oh, the baby comes out. No, they move things aside. They take things out. They take the baby out, and then they don't put everything back nice and pretty. They just kind of shove everything back in there. She did that 5 times. And he said no. So if a married couple agree on not having any more children, who should be responsible for the birth control, whether oral, IUD, or sterilization, which is tubal ligation for women, and vasectomy for men?
So if they don't want to have a vasectomy, the man doesn't want to have a vasectomy. Yeah. The woman doesn't want to tie her tubes.
No, well, see, also I was reading the comments, and I got my tubes tied because I had a C-section. When you have a C-section, they can do it right there, 1, 2, 3, no problem. But they didn't come to that agreement until afterwards. So now that means if she wanted to get her tubes tied, she would have to go into the operating room. They have to cut her open and do all that. It's invasive.
Okay, so it's just a vasectomy. So if he's saying no, you're saying who should be responsible? She's pretty much saying she don't want to have any more children.
I mean, he said it too.
Okay, but so she's like, then get a vasectomy, and he's like, no.
Right, and she did the oral contraceptive, the pill, and that made her. We've had this conversation on another topic too. It messed with her hormones, and she was, angry, crying, very emotional, not herself.
Most women are like this today because that's what they do.
Exactly. And I don't know about the IUD.
That helps. That works against submission too. I know we didn't talk about that. I know we said it makes them a little bit more masculine and attracted to betas, but the cornerstone it assists in them fighting submission.
It's awful when
they take birth control and stuff. So and then when they get off it too, their body's still used to it, so they still have those after effects. So it's not like they're gonna be just cured right away. If they've been taking it for like 4 years and then they just get off, they meet a new guy like me that doesn't want them to do that. We'll just use condoms, and then when we're ready to have kids, I'll take it off. She's still gonna be affected because their body, mind, and stuff is still used to it.
After I had my son, I didn't want to. Anyway, I got a shot. Right, 1 shot. I was supposed to get it like every 3 months. I only got 1 because I was like, somebody was like, that's poison that you're putting into your body. I didn't get my period for a year off 1 shot. I was like, never again, no way.
Yeah. So
what do you think though?
Okay, so who should be responsible for the birth control and stuff? Yo, let them go back to using condoms.
Yeah, a lot of people said that too.
You know what it is? This is what makes a lot of women stay in relationships though. What? And this is what like kind of keeps them in check from being poly. See, a lot of women out there are actually polyamorous, but they're having sex with one guy. See, that shit crazy, right? Yo, rewind that because I'm not going to say it again. It's a fact. Their DMs is lined up. They're talking to other niggas. They got male friends. You remember that show? Yeah. What episode was that? like
Are you kidding
155
me? He's asking me what
or
episode.
something. Like
Anyway.
so the thing is, right? A lot of them are already in it. What keeps them in check? That it's like, oh, that's my man. Like we should be doing it raw and stuff like that. Yo, I had a girl. I told you, she was constantly bothering me about that. Oh, what do you think about birth control? Because she wanted raw. Oh, yeah, because that's like what you're used to. Oh, you're the only one I'm messing with, so let's do that.
Right.
Yo, so most women think like that, right? To do that. So in a way, that's gonna bother them. That's like taking a shower with your socks on and your underwear. It's kind of still getting some parts wet, but it's not all the way to feel.
Right.
So so I can't doesn't you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because most people are engaging in sex for the feeling. They're not really engaging in sex for the connection and stuff like that. Some people
Yeah.
have tantra sex. Like I have tantra sex. It's like slow. It's the objective is not to
Like
orgasm
rhythmic.
right away. You know what I'm saying? Enjoying each other, right? Absorbing the energy. That's what sex is all about. So that's what my advice would be. I'm saying it for them if I was like gonna coach them.
Would be what?
Subjectively
Would be
now,
what? To
would
use
for
the
them to
condom
use
now?
the condom.
But
Now-
what if the man says I don't want to use the condom? Then should he be, if he don't want to use the condom, then should he be responsible to take? So I'm gonna say something that is gonna upset the women. I'm gonna say something that's gonna upset the women, and I'm sorry. But if you look at it logically or theoretically or whatever, it's almost along the lines of my body, my choice.
Yo, I think we was kind of thinking of something similar. Cause I think I was gonna get along those lines, which you just said right now.
Right? So I think though, in the story and the way it was presented, the husband was an asshole. She did it. She went 5 times. You should play your part, buddy. That's what I think. But in like maybe a different scenario, if he doesn't want to get a vasectomy, maybe he says he's not done having children. You know what I mean? Then that's his. If you don't want to have kids, then whatchamacallit, I got my tubes tied.
So I don't believe the husband is an asshole.
I
Maybe
mean,
he
in
don't
that
want.
scenario,
Maybe he don't want to be told what to do,
that too.
and maybe he's thinking like I was gonna get to my body, my choice. You know what I'm
Maybe.
saying? Because it's like you gotta understand. Okay, you don't want to have kids because your body, your choice. But then you telling me to do this, my body, my choice.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? So it's
Sorry,
like
ladies, but I mean that's
let's
serious.
just 50-50 coin it. They
No
could do.
way.
You know what I'm saying? So
I
now,
didn't want to have any more kids, and when I went and got the doctor that agreed, that was going to give me the C-section, I was like, I don't want to have any more kids. My husband at the time, he was like, well, don't I have to sign a piece of paper? And the doctor was like, it's not your body. I was like, rip them out. Let's go. Take them out. I don't want that. That's it.
yeah. So and it's hard to really give
Because I knew that I didn't want to have any more kids. So why am I gonna, you know what I mean? Why am I gonna just leave it up to him to, let's say, get a vasectomy?
Yeah, I mean that. From what I hear, it's not like it hurts for like a few days.
I mean, from what I read,
You know,
it's not invasive like how getting her tubes tied would have been. And I think it's like a 2-day recovery, and what it feels like from what I read is that it feels like you have your underwears are on too tight.
yeah. So in a way, right? We got to get into these people's minds for them to talk to each other about what they're thinking. See, I can't give my opinion because if I could get the whole thing where both these couples were straight up, like why did she say she doesn't want to have any more children? Why does he say he does not want to get a vasectomy? Does he want to have more kids, maybe with another woman? Like, is he going to articulate that, or is he retaining it? Wait a minute. She wants me to get a vasectomy, but then she don't want more kids. But I do.
But vasectomies are reversible.
Did he say he doesn't want to have any more children?
That's what she said in the story.
But it's only her side we're hearing, right? We didn't hear both. So maybe she's lying.
It could be.
Maybe he does, but she's just saying, no, he doesn't want to have kids too. Equal.
Or maybe he told her that, but really he does.
Yeah,
because that sounds more realistic.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We don't know. It's so hard. Like I want to get all the facts. Only thing I could do is put feelings in there and make it subjective of what I think and what I would do, or what I would give them advice pertaining to subjective. But like getting all the facts would put me in a realm for me to give you facts of what you're saying for him to do is wrong. What you're doing is wrong. Tell her really why you don't want kids and stuff of that nature. You want more children. Boom, boom, boom. Ask Polly. Whatever it is, you don't have to know about it or see it. But I would like to have more kids. It's gonna be with another woman if it's not you. Cool. Like there's no context really. Like I don't see context. You know, so I really can't dive into it like I want.
All right. So we have to revisit this once you have kids. I see.
Probably. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
how it's gonna be there.
And you got to be able to see.
That would be such an awesome episode to see if you've changed how you feel after having children.
No.
No, what?
No.
You're not gonna change?
It's not like I have the children and then, you know, I'm spending more time with them than the wife.
It's not like you said?
You're talking about the totality of this topic or just that bullet? The vasectomy and stuff?
No, the totality.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not, because that's choosing too. That's the same thing as choosing. Like, I'm gonna give you an example. I have children with a lady. She's my wife because I don't believe in baby mamas. So we have kids. It's coming together. The ring too, right? So that's my wife. When we I live with her. I like I talk to my boys, bro. I live with her, but I haven't seen her all week, bro. That sounds ridiculous. What are you talking about? My house is huge. You know what I'm saying? Like when I come home, food's not on the table. This and that. We don't have our alone time. She's just with the kids in the other room. So I gotta do my own shit. I really haven't seen her for a week. You see what I'm saying? So that's a scenario where the woman is choosing the kids over the husband. Come on, I'm not gonna rock with a woman like that. I'm gonna see how she behaves. Yo, I've had these conversations with every woman that was a potential mother and wife. When I go on these dates with these women and I'm dating them, like they're my sub now, I'm having these conversations like on the podcast. Like these topics.
Yeah.
I'm bringing it to see where their mind is at. So when we sit down, we talk about everything. Finances, am I going to pay everything? We talk about children, who's going to discipline them, because that's non-negotiable too. We talk about where we're going to live. We talk about, is it still going to be America? Is it going to be other countries? We talk about taxes, property tax. We talk about investing. I bring all of this stuff to the table. I don't give a fuck if it's the early stages. I put everything on the table in the beginning so I can know where we're going to go to the future.
But can I ask you a question about the scenario though? Like, why would she just not cook for for everybody? She gotta cook for the kids.
But maybe she just cooked for the kids. Like, yo,
Then
where's
why
mine?
didn't she save some? That's what I'm saying.
Where's
Why
mine?
would she do that? That's the question.
Like, where's
Why?
mine? Maybe I work all day. I'm just giving you a scenario I would never be in.
No, I know.
You know, because even if she is a housewife and I work all day, I'm just letting you know that this is a scenario where I'm looking at it from my lens of she's choosing the kids still over me.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be we're both drowning or we
Yeah.
both got guns to our heads. And so she's choosing the kids over me. Most women are like this, that are not into the men that they said yes to. I just said yes because I needed a provider right now. I woke up. I grew up broke. I have poverty PTSD, so I'm a gold digger in a sense.
No, maybe it's the other thing that you say that women do. Hypergamy. Hypergamy. Hypergamy?
Yes, but hypergamy, right? Hypergamy comes down to the man, right? So it's not just financial. Hypergamy is categorized into like five or six things. It's not, if she wants a man who makes a lot of money, she's hypergamous. No, because it's economic too that's superior to her. Maybe intelligence, maybe muscles, maybe better sexual prowess, maybe height.
All of that, not just
all of that. Dominant character, maybe she's shy. It's all of that play a factor. So it's that man. If she's just going off the financial aspect, she's not gonna love him. She's not gonna be into him. So it makes sense why we talk about the scenario with the housewife. She's spending more time with the kids than him. He don't get a meal.
So the women that do the hypergamy, they love the man.
Yeah.
Pues I didn't
The
know that.
hypergamy and gold digger is different.
See, I thought
We said
hypergamy
this
was
in a show. What's the difference? We gave our perspective. The gold digger is selfish. The hypergamous woman is like the lioness in the jungle. She's thinking about future, not just herself. She's more logical. The gold digger is more emotional, more feelings. The hypergamous woman is more logical. It's logical to get with discipline. I'm not tooting my own horn. He's a provider. He's this. He's that. Maybe he's an asshole, but he never called me out my name. He looks like a good father. He teaches me things. He puts me in a better position to do it. He's going to invest. He's doing the good man and bad boy. He got, it makes sense logically. Even if I'm coming in here being a brat and doing this, and he says no oftentimes, and and don't spend this, and treat me like whatever, but I'm always safe when we go out. I'm always logical. The woman is like, oh, getting with discipline. I'm just using me as an example. I'm not tooting my horn. Getting with him is logical, hypergamous, logical, because not just I'm gonna feel good. If I have children with him, it's gonna be divine woman is hypergamous, like in that type of scenario. The devil woman is gold digger. Is gold digger because she's just thinking about herself. You know what I'm saying? Hypergamous can also come with, you know what? I'm going to be a housewife to do this and do that because he deserves that. He's worth that because he's superior in that regard. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to do my part. The gold digger don't necessarily mean just because she get with the high status dude or financially, economically dominant, it doesn't necessarily mean she's going to be submissive there and says, oh, because he's, spoils me and got these racks and sends me on shopping sprees, I'm always going to cook. I'm always going to clean. I'm always going to shut up and say you win in the argument. Even if I don't win and I don't want to do, I will agree and obey even when I don't agree. Because partial submission is not a thing.
With the
partial obedience is not a thing. You know, that doesn't mean the gold digger is going to do that. She's always thinking about herself, her high. You know, the hypergamous woman is different. She's thinking about the future. When I leave this earth, will my kids be good? Will that be good? So there's the difference there. So, I don't believe it. It comes down to like divine and women who are not in their divine. I think that the divine woman is gonna choose the man. Excuse me. You know, and I think the woman who's not really in her divine is gonna put the kids. Because when a woman is in her divine, even if they are unaware of it, like I broke it down earlier, subconsciously they do, because God is in them, so they get a lot of divine assistance. You know, that kick in the head, the intuition, the gut feeling, stomach hurt type shit. They know that God over man, man over woman, woman over children. They know that it's a hierarchy subconsciously. We're spirits in flesh. Maybe they never said it like that, or oh wow, that makes sense. They never thought of it, but their subconscious did. So they act different. They act different. The man is the head of the house. He's the general. He's first. Then comes the kids. That's why most of those women are in their divine will say, well, did you ask your daddy before you came to me? I heard him say no. Don't play. We're a team. Your father gets the last word. Your father disciplines you. Wait for your dad to get home.
That's how it should be.
But this is the divine women. I'm breaking it down. The divine women will be like this because even though they don't consciously know that there's a hierarchy, subconsciously they do. Their spirit does. He's below God. He's getting every one of his powers from God. So if I respect him, I'm going to respect God and vice versa. When the woman cannot be submissive, it's because she don't really respect God. The woman in her divine knows that there's a hierarchy. You see? Like God is really the boss. Then it's like the man after that, he's like the lieutenant or somewhat, right? And then the woman under him is like the manager or whatever or capo. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if you're saying that God is the God, then the man is the king.
That makes sense.
Hierarchy, and then the woman is the queen. There's like a hierarchy. Queen and king are not on an even playing field. They're not on the same plateau. She has authority and power, but she's always under him. Any woman who is in her divine is aware of this. And even if they're not, and I broke it down right now, there's not them that's going to say he's lying. They're going to be like, well, maybe I don't agree with that context. And they're a little bit more articulate than me. But they're going to be like, to what he's saying in a sense, he's making a lot of sense.
Yeah, no, it's true.
He's not talking bullshit or saying shit out of his ass.
What about the second part though? About the vasectomy and stuff. What do you think about? Like, what do you think about that?
I agree with the man. It's his body. If he don't want to go through that, but then, like I said, I don't know where the context is at. Why doesn't he want to do it? Does he want to have more children? And he shouldn't be afraid to tell her that. Like, man up and tell her, no, I'm not doing that because I want to have more kids. You don't? Well, maybe I do want to. You okay with me having another woman with kids? Like, maybe that's what he wants, but he's scared because of how she gonna react.
There were people,
and maybe that's not the right thing to say to your lady. But you got to understand, there's so many reasons. We're not getting the reasons why they're not doing it. Why doesn't she want to do it? She doesn't want to go through that shit again?
Yeah, it was traumatic.
Okay, so it was traumatic. So that's her reason. Why is he not doing it? Is it the same? Is he afraid of the procedure?
Afraid.
Is he afraid? So you don't know facts.
I don't know about him being afraid, but in the comments they were like, that's scary or whatever.
Yeah, don't listen to the people in the comments.
No, I just read it to.
Yeah, they're just stating their perspective. They're not getting facts themselves. People always want to have to come up with the answers, so they don't go crazy. So they throw rumors and shit.
And other people said that their husbands just did it automatically. Like, we're done. Okay, I'm gonna go get a vasectomy. So they said if he really wanted to, he would, but he doesn't want to.
Yeah, maybe he wants to have more kids. Yeah. And if it's not with her, another woman. So I'm not saying he's wrong. Because ultimately, he could be looking at it for tit for tat, too. He could be looking at it like, okay, if she doesn't want to do it because she doesn't want to go through this, I'm not going to do it.
Reversible
I'm not going to, maybe he doesn't know that. I'm not going to go through this procedure. And then, what? No, equality. Equality now. If you get to have body of choice, so do I. Maybe that's what he's thinking. I don't know. I'm just throwing darts in the dark, trying to hit the bullseye.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But we got to get more context. So I'm just throwing what I think based off assuming what could have been said or what wasn't. But if we get all the facts of what was said, then I could give you a better analysis.
I know.
And a better perspective.
There's no way we're getting that.
Yeah. But that's about it. But I mean, I don't think it's right. If the woman's choosing the children over the husband. But that's just my perspective. And that's never gonna happen to me because I'm stubborn. I refuse to get married unless she is gonna be a submissive wife. She's prepared for that. Or wives. You know what I'm saying? So ultimately, this is why it hasn't happened. It's not because I don't have the money. It's not because I can't find anybody. No, I'm really strict on my boundaries. Like, I'm not gonna settle. I'm not gonna settle. I met women who's like, oh yeah, I'll get married, but I'm not having any more kids. Oh, okay. So it's like, okay, you could stay here as a sub, but then I'm gonna do that with other women because it's a total package. Then I meet women that's like, oh, I do want to get married, but let's wait on kids. Let's do this. Or they're like, oh, I really wanted to have kids. I never had them, but I don't really want to get married. Maybe they're divorced again. I don't really want to go through that. Most of the time, the women that have gone through it already don't want to anymore. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, dating, I could say, is a little difficult because I'm not a guy that does a one-night stand and shit. You could look at my lifestyle and be like, get big misconception. Oh, he looks like he does. Because isn't that just bedroom activity what it entails? No, I actually there's actually BDSM relationships. That's what I engage in. I think those people can live their life and do that, but they're not real with it. They're just part-timers or bedroom or internet. It's a phase. It's gonna end. It's not 24/7 like forever. So for me, I don't believe in divorce.
Mm.
So I'm like, this is why it's paramount for her to be submissive, a submissive wife. Because if she's a dominant one, she's gonna do things that's gonna violate. And if I didn't know myself, I probably would be an abuser.
Oh my
Because there's
goodness.
women out there who are
Push
annoying,
you,
who
yeah.
could push you to that. But because I know myself and whatever, and I wasn't raised like that, and I never seen that happen in any one of my relatives and families, uncles, aunts, nieces, whatever,
Thank
parents
goodness.
and stuff, you know, um, I would end up doing shit to that dominant woman or feminist that would be like, okay, you know what? You violated, but we're already here. So this is what's gonna happen. I'm not gonna ever touch you for the rest of your life. We could live as roommates. Once they're old enough to leave the nest, then you could get a divorce if you want. I release you then. I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
That's
that's
why it's
awful.
paramount that she has to be submissive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because the dominant woman, she gonna do some wild shit. I've never been cheated on, knock on wood, but God forbid she ends up doing that. What would I do? What would I do? At that point, I don't believe in leaving her. We're already married.
Oh my
You see
goodness.
what I'm saying? So it's hard dating out there because I got a lot of sexual options. I mean, shit, look at me. I do, and what I do, right? Aesthetics of every way. The voice, the color of the skin, nose tattoos, everything, right? The Scorpio aura, seductive. I don't even try. It's the energy. But long term, like relationship wise and future and stuff, children, marriage, that's hard in America.
Yeah.
This is one of the reasons why I do date foreign women. Like I've dated dark skinned foreign women. I've dated light skinned foreign women. Whiter skinned foreign women. Foreign is what I like because they're domesticated. They don't look at that term as something crazy.
Like
You see what I'm saying? So it's not even the race for me. It's that character. So it's
That trait.
non-negotiable for that. I'm not gonna settle because she can't have kids right now. She's under 30. She's my race preference or whatever, or foreign, but is Americanized and don't believe in her foreign genetic, and she should practice that. No, that's why it's harder. No, she gotta come with everything in that regard. It can be perfect, and it's easy to be that when you're into that guy. A lot of women with trauma will be like, well, that's perfect. It doesn't exist. And da da da. But if a lot of women have said, I'm perfect, why can't they be or strive to be that? It
Oh,
can happen.
themselves? Yeah.
It can happen if you want it. Oh, I'm scared I'm going to disappoint and stuff like that. Because you got a lot of bad habits. That's why you got a lot of bad habits you haven't healed from. That's why you're scared of disappointing and failing. You see, these dudes let me get away with stuff. He's not. Oh, I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared to disappoint because you got a lot of bad habits. You know, so it's kind of hard navigating, but stubborn and strict and those rules, you know, I'm not giving up on him. I'm gonna have it, but I'm not I'm not giving up on it. It's not gonna be a woman who's 18, 19. Not doing that either. That's crazy. Because I could find that at that age, but I'm not doing
No,
that.
that's
At my age,
terrible.
right now, I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? She's gonna be in my age bracket or like 28, maybe 35, like stuff like 32. Like,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna find it. But I'm just saying that it's not easy when you
Yeah,
want it
but like you
long
said,
term and
you're
stuff
you're
like
good
that.
looking, so
No, no. See, it's so easy to get chicks because of everything I mentioned. But then it comes down to the real shit because they're wearing a mask. Like, remember
like
one of the
sifting
two
through
shows
them.
prior? Oh yeah, I'll do it if he's hot. I'll do it if he's hot. Lie on the application. Once I get in the job, I'll change things around. Come in
Yeah.
late because I'm good with the boss. You know,
Is
do
that
whatever I want.
tiresome for you? Like when you
No,
invest
no, it's
time and
not.
then
It's helping me hone in on my powers.
okay.
You know, because it allows me to seep through. Keep your realness. Your authenticity is what filters out all the bullshit. The people that's not real
Yep.
and not here for the right reasons. So when I'm keeping my authenticity, the rules and everybody apply and stuff like that, it's gonna bring those women to be like, oh yeah, I'm attracted to him, this and that. Then when I break down the rules, oh damn, he was so perfect. God damn, like why did he have to be this?
He said,
If he
"This
could
ain't
just change this
rules."
one part about him, he would be so amazing. Why can't he just change this one part? And then that's why
Which is
that's the test of what you're supposed to accept so you can have greatness. You see? Like if $1 million is on the other side of the fire, what you gonna do? So a lot of people don't want to go through the fire. Like run through that shit fast. You gonna roll. Maybe there's a guy on the end waiting with the fire extinguisher. You don't know.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
don't know. But are you willing to take the chance to get the million?
Mm.
The fire is what it is. At first, there was no fire there. You just saw the $1 million. Pay attention to the analogy. Wow, so attractive. All these things I'm going to get. Then as you're moving closer, the $1 million is like, well, there's stipulations to get it. Now the wall of fire comes. And you can't go around it because it's the wall of fire. The only way through is straight. If you get there, you're going to get it. This is the rules and stuff. And I'm not just talking about me because there's a lot of guys that come with maybe not similar standards, but subjective standards and boundaries and rules. So to get greatness and all this stuff that you want as a woman, because we know how to do that with women, we really know how to treat them real good in every way. There's stipulations. So now the fire, are you willing to walk through? That's the stipulations, metaphorically and the analogy to get the $1 million. So a lot of women want the million, but then they see the flames. And then it's like, oh damn, I thought I could come here and just get it and then play and go on a shopping spree and not have to invest. I don't want to invest $1 million because that's what a woman's doing when she's investing, when she's saying yes and stuff of that nature, mind, body, soul. That's what she's doing when she's investing. But she just plans to get the $1 million and just go on a shopping spree and don't invest it to make 10 million. God. She don't want to do that. She just want to spend that shit. She got mad bills to pay. Let me just pay that off, and then the rest I'll just buy a mass shit, a boat, a yacht, shit probably I don't even need. I just fucking high off the money. She not willing to invest, so you got to understand that it's hard because of that. For me personally, I'm pretty sure like people like Kevin came on, like that's a guy that is not in the lifestyle.
Yeah, I would love to get his perspective on that too.
But he was saying it's hard to date in America.
No,
and when I date foreign women, they're in America too. It's not just I travel overseas or whatever it is. They're in America. So I specifically will find them, their ethnicity as I'm getting to know them, their sign, and all these things I play a factor of like how I'm gonna be present here or not. Oh, she's Spanish. Oh, she's Caribbean. Oh, she's Guyanese. She's Indian or whatever, Muslim culture, like whatnot. Believes in God and stuff. So I'm getting all these facts to know. Oh, okay, what it is. So ultimately like that's really what it is. You got to look at it that way. I don't date American women. And if they're Americanized, they're a descendant of. So let's say she's like white but she's Spanish. She's a descendant of someone. Let's say she's black but she's Haitian, Dominican, Guyanese, Trinidadian. You know what I'm saying? There's those values there. And with me, let's say she's light skinned, Colombian or something like that, or whatever it is. Like she got those values,
That's similar to yours. You're saying.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is not gonna sound crazy.
No, that's true.
It's no middle ground.
No, because look at even the stuff that you brought up. There were so many people that agree with your point of view.
Yeah. It's no middle ground. It's like conservative or liberal. It's no such thing as I'm a traditional modern woman. You live in modern times, but you read the traditional modern. So we live in modern times. Are you modern or traditional? Like which one do you gear towards more? That's what you are. I'm dominant, submissive in bed. No, you're not. You're one of the or the other.
He said no.
You're one or the other. I'm dominant, submissive in a relationship. No, you're one or the other. Which one do you gear towards more?
Mm.
Well, when I'm with this man, okay, so she's dominant. Because it doesn't matter the man she was with. Even if he was ain't shit, it's her character
To be dominant.
to be dominant or submissive. But when I'm with this man, I'm dominant. But when I'm with this man, I'm submissive. Conditional. Conditional. And you're only submissive because you know he likes that. See how I'm able to pick up on these things? So I like it. It's not tiring. It's helping me hone in on my power of intuition. As a Scorpio, we have psychic tendencies. That's why we're one of the most powerful signs in the zodiac. Look it up. You know, so if you're not in tune as a Scorpio, it's because something has happened to you that you haven't healed from. But when you get healed, you have these powers and you read people before they even open their mouth. I could tell everything about that girl based on how she walk, how she dress, and stuff of that nature, how she hold her hand, like whatever it is, I could tell by her body language, her action. And then when she speaks, plays a factor into everything.
Makes sense.
Because how she thinks is going to be her actions. Same thing with a man. So if she dressed like a hoe, she think like that too. And she's on some hoe shit time. It's not possible for her to dress like a hoe and then think about God and this and tradition and nature and man. It's not possible.
Okay.
It's not fathomably possible. And then it's not fathomably possible that she dresses properly and stuff of that nature. And then she's like
Well, how about
on
them,
some whole shit.
Them chicks that like are strippers or do OnlyFans to pay for, let's say, college. You've heard those stories, no?
And then they go to church on Sundays. And they're praising God.
I mean, listen,
and
people
they're
who
doing
go to church, we've already discussed that. They're not the holiest.
They're doing the right thing.
obviously.
The homeless man, he
Maybe
knows how
to
the
go to
homeless man,
school.
she knows how to treat him. No, that's not. If she's got her OnlyFans, she already disrespecting those guys that paying for her because it's mostly guys. So there's no way she's gonna treat the homeless man with respect because the guys that's paying her, she don't respect them. I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. How you think is gonna be how you move. Because all of that is a magnet too. It's a magnet. Everything is vibrational and energy. Vibrations keep going.
Yep.
It's never stagnant.
That's true.
So, how you play a factor in your thoughts is how you're going to eventually move. So if a woman has a feminist mentality, she's going to move like that. It's not possible for her to have a feminist mentality and then do the opposite and be like she's going to be conservative. It's not possible for her to be conservative and have a conservative mindset and upbringing and then be like, I'm going to get on some feminist shit.
But do you think that if a woman picks the child over the husband, she's a feminist? That's a good question, right? Kinda, sorta, maybe. I think so.
No.
Eh,
No.
You don't think she's a feminist? Okay.
Because
I don't think so either.
technically speaking, most feminists are cold. They heartless. They can't even really love right. So just because they have that baby don't mean it's gonna. And research has shown. So let me finish my sentence and get on. Don't mean she gonna love it. Now, research has shown that sometimes a baby can bring a couple together. But if she's a feminist and then has a kid, she gonna be like, "Oh, you stay with him. I gotta work today. Mad shit to do. You haven't spent time with
she
the
won't get
baby
that bond.
all week. Like, what's going on? I'm doing more monthly things. Why am I changing diapers? Why am I more than you? Why am I doing this? Washing dishes more? Like, she's cold-hearted. So technically speaking, what I believe feminists do, because modern feminists, this is how they think. Traditional feminists or back in the days, they're no longer that. They transition. Modern feminists, they're not what it is, seeking equality and equal rights and stuff like that pertaining to the woman. Men too, but we're talking about the woman feminists. No, they're not like that. They're more about I'm right all the time. Women are better. They're on a path to female superiority. We need women in office so we could all win. Yeah, president. Feminists. If I talk about politics with a chick and she was for Harris, feminist. Quick. I'm like, oh, she a feminist? Oh, she a feminist. To Harris?
No,
I know
trash.
she a feminist.
They're both trash.
It like I'm saying, she going one in the female direction feminist. But if she like, oh, I'm not voting for another, whatever it is, or going to him, okay, she's trustworthy. But she's going to Harris, she's a feminist. That's an indicator. And maybe she don't even know it.
Mm,
You know
that's
what I'm
true.
saying? It's coming from a lot of hurt from men. So they want bigging up women now. Remember back in the days, it wasn't really like this? Even you said it. Remember 168 with Kels? Women want more catty.
Mm.
Nowadays, they're like togetherness. Get your bag, bitch. Get your
Mm-hmm.
bag. You
That's
know what I'm
true.
saying? Get it, get it. Encouraging. Yeah, show that booty. Show that booty. Yeah, yeah. Back in the days, no, you would get shamed for that. What you doing out there? Hoochie da da. Her mom would tell her mom, then her aunt,
Mm-hmm.
and before you get to the house, they would already find out about it.
Yep. You're getting
You
stuff
went to
up.
the church, everybody found out what you was doing online.
That's awful.
Because nobody could keep saying, what? Whose daughter did what? Tell the other person, like
Mm-hmm.
telephone. Remember telephone back in the day?
Yep.
To see if it goes all the way to the 10th person to see if it was really what it was said in the beginning.
It's crazy.
You see what I'm saying? So, no, ultimately, like, it's just navigating through the dating market. So, no, I don't believe she's a feminist if she chooses the kids over the man. But she's definitely not submissive. I'll tell you that. She's definitely not
I think
sticking
it's
by
more
her
of
guy.
a fight or flight situation.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I think that plays also a big part in each a woman and a man. We have different makeup, so our fight or flight is going to be different. You know what I mean? Mine, if it involves a child, really any child, I'm going to try to save the kid. You know what I mean? And a man's is obviously I don't know, whatever they choose.
Yeah, I think it comes down to like logic and feelings. And some women are logical in
Mm,
the sense of, oh, I'm gonna choose the man. And most women are feelings. So a
yeah.
few women will be logical.
Mm,
Even though they feel what they feel, they're gonna be like, yo, this is the right thing to do. I'm gonna put my feelings aside in logical thinking. Boom. And then most women are just gonna instinctively, all feelings. So it's common for a female.
yeah.
But the woman who's in her divinity, she's gonna be logical. Remember I said in a couple of shows prior, where I was cooking, it was like 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
We brought Annette on,
Mm-hmm.
172,
Mm-hmm.
172. I said towards the end, right? Because they take over. The longer I'm on this mic, the longer they get to use my body as of being a vessel for their
Mm-hmm.
message. I start cooking towards the end, and I said females are different than women. The woman is in her divinity. And if she's in her divinity, she's getting divine assistance. So she's
Mm-hmm.
not logical by herself because natural feminine energy is feelings. She's not logical. But why is the woman logical? Because she's getting divine assistance from God.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Now God's going to help her discern right. You know what I'm saying? And then that's what it comes down to. Sometimes she'll be like, "Oh damn, where did that come from?
Mm-hmm.
He left your body now.
Mm-hmm.
Where did that come from? Like, you see what I'm saying? So it comes down to that. You know, women versus females. Me, I like women. I like women, and even if they're unaware of energy, I always say a submissive woman is in her divinity.
Mm.
That rhyme. You know what I'm saying? It's a fact. And a dominant man is equivalent to divine masculine. So
Very true.
yeah. You got final thoughts?
No, I think I said all my final thoughts.
Yeah, so yeah, we got 2 more episodes left. Go back. They're gonna be hot. They're gonna be hot. Like fucking hotter than fish grease.
Hotter than fish grease.
Yeah.
That's pretty hot.
So keep your mental seatbelts on. It's gonna be a psychological roller
Roller
coaster.
coaster.
Only on the Discipline Therapy Podcast.
Peace.
Peace.